let's say we do that bottom turn, you're just going to stay committed to that rail. And it takes a lot of faith. You know, you have to get to know your rail line and believe in the board that it will do that. And if you have a good board, they should be designed to do that. I don't try to muscle or lift the nose up because that will break the trim. You want to coil up again, almost like you're doing a bit of the bottom turn, but instead of leaning into your toe side, you're bending into your knees and your hips. The cutback, I don't think it's that dissimilar to a shortboard. It's just that the arc is much wider, and you, with all turns in the mid-length, it requires you to have patience. I just talked about rushing things. So don't get ahead of yourself. Don't try to rush, and don't try to rip and manhandle, if I may use that term, or over muscle something. It's more of a finesse kind of surfing. Not too dissimilar from longboarding you would associate with finesse and grace. And a lot of that is just the board works better when you're surfing that way. It's the same with the mid-length. So let's say we do that bottom turn we just talked about. Maybe we got one or two swoops in, as you call it, which I think is a good way to describe it. Now I see, okay, the wave is definitely coming to a point where that wall has slowed down and it's getting pretty soft, or I can anticipate it's about to happen. So time that bottom turn, do not too different than the first one you did. And then as you're coming up, sort of aim for that 9 o'clock position again. And instead of dropping down and coming down the face on that 45-degree angle, which is maybe the way you started the wave, you're just going to stay committed to that rail. And it takes a lot of faith. You know, you have to get to know your rail line and believe in the board that it will do that. And if you have a good board, they should be designed to do that. So you go up into that corner pocket and just, if I'm only talking about frontside surfing right now, because backside's a different thing. So front side, now I'm going to the heel side of the board and I'm leaning into the rail and I'm allowing it to, I'm just keep pushing it. And I don't try to shorten the arc. I don't try to muscle or lift the nose up because that will break the trim. You could start sliding the fins, or you just straight fall off. And as you're doing it, it's important to understand where, like, what is your body doing? So you want to coil up again, almost like you're doing a bit of the bottom turn, but instead of leaning into your toe side, you're bending into your knees and your hips. But now we're leaning back. And one way to keep your balance and to keep your form and poise is to use your front hand. Sorry, I'm trying to get on the screen here.
Yeah.
Watch the videos of the people we already discussed, or even watch Tom Kern or Brad Gerlach or these types of surfers. You'll see that their front hand is always wherever they want to go. They keep pointing their hand, and their eyes follow. And you're not staring at your fingertips. You're gazing past your fingertips, but it's sort of like the sight of a rifle. You're looking and using this of where am I going? Yeah. And then so that is how you initiate the turn. And you have the confidence to, like, okay, this rail line is going to hold in. I'm going to stay seated into this. I'm not going to give up on it. Just keep going. So for myself, I can bring them all the way around only if the wave has the room to do it. If it's a really cupped out tight wave, there's no way on a mid-length that you can get all of that rail and come back around and wrap up in, tag the whitewater. It's just really difficult to do.
Yeah.
So if that's happening, it's a really cupped out wave. What I'll do is I will do the cutback, but instead of going like 180 degrees, I will aim to the bottom of the wave. Right where the whitewater is in the green face. And I head toward that and I time it so just before I get to the whitewater, I don't touch the whitewater. I go into another bottom turn. Right where the lower corner is. And so imagine you're basically doing a big carve. You're carving at the top and you're coming back. You're not going up into the whitewater like a shortboard would. Yeah. Because again, it's just really hard to fit in that curve. Come down to the bottom of the wave, and just before the white water is going to gobble me up, I'll turn. Now, sometimes I make contact with it and maybe it's on purpose. It depends on the shape of the wave. If the wave is really mushy, it's like a super soft, I'm at Cardiff Reef at high tide or Sano or somewhere, or lowers even, high tide, I will easily go back into the white water because it's so flat on the face. I can fit that low rocker board. But again, you're going to have to make the call. Is this a really critical wave? If it is, and I don't want to go over the handlebars, cut it a little short. That's fine. And if you do it in one fluid motion, you do that big arc, and when you come down to the bottom, just start leaning and take the exact same bottom turn form you had. And now you're potentially in your third or fourth bottom turn on the wave. And depending on what the wave's doing, either the wave's finishing and done there, or it's setting up for yet again another up and down.
Do you struggle with your paddle power? Well, I can go months without surfing and roll to pumping waves and surf 3-hour sessions multiple times a day, day after day after day, by using the Basis paddle trainer. It was a total game changer for me, and it can be for you too. These things actually work, unlike elastic resistance bands. You can train your paddling anytime, anywhere, so you can catch more waves and have more fun. Just 10 to 20 minutes a couple times a week, and you're gonna be in insane paddle shape, right? So remember, the key progression is more waves, and the key to more waves is more paddle power. Check it out at surfbasis.com. You're gonna be stoked.